You're listening to Rodney Rogers Outdoors Radio, where we turn it upside down and look at the outside from the inside out. It's safe, it's legal, and we're having a blast. So put your shoes on, my friend, because we're going outdoors.
Good evening, outdoors. This is Rodney Rogers. You're listening to Rodney Rogers Radio. Rodney Rogers Outdoors. That's partner Coach East in Crime, Michael Coy.
On the radio.
How you doing, my brother?
Need one of those 60s intros, with the...
Yeah. You know what? That's what
the
it
ladies.
reminded me of as soon as you said it. Just anyway, we were born in the 60s.
I was?
We were.
I was.
I was, too.
We was?
You about a minute before me.
We was.
How you doing, my man?
I'm good.
I'm hanging in there.
Welcome aboard. Keep your arms inside the ride until the ride comes to a complete stop. Por favor, manténgase a las puertas.
A little puppy chow.
Puppy chow.
So, here we are. It's after Labor Day. How was your weekend?
Was it Labor Day? That was good. Chilled out.
Yeah.
Cleaned out the closets.
Right on.
A little bit of fall cleaning.
Skeletons?
No. A few.
Those are, you got to get rid of those things quick.
Three garbage bags full of skeletons.
You don't want
It
skeletons.
just feels
get
good
loose.
to clean it. You find stuff from, like, why do I have this still?
And you know what? Here's the deal. When you clean out your closet, your drawers, and all those things, you throw it all away. A week later, you go, God dog it, where's that there with your nugget?
You know what else I realized? A lot of the stuff made sense to hang on to, like, when I was 20.
Right.
Because you're like, hell, in 10 years, when I'm 30, I might want to use that.
Right.
But now when I'm 50,
you realize
I ain't never using that.
And it's outdated. It's obsolete.
I'm never going to use that.
Not going to happen.
You know what I mean? I threw what 10 years ago would have been really good crap.
Oh, and expensive.
Yeah.
High dollar equipment.
I mean, stuff, because I take care of my things.
Right.
I really, my gadgets and my electronics, 15 years later, they'll still seem new, probably because I've only used them once. or
Because
twice.
you updated the second the update came out.
But literally, I'm playing show and my wife got tired of playing show and tell every time I'd run in the room and go, look, honey, a Texas Instruments calculator. Is there any reason we want to hang on to this?
On your phone.
It's on the phone.
Yeah.
This camera. What do we, on the phone? What else was there? Was a GPS. It's on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And the thing that really killed me, because I really only used it like twice, was one of these little micro cassette recorders.
Oh, yeah, the old.
Used for recording lectures or whatever.
When you were
I
kids,
had like
you
8
were.
tapes.
Absolutely.
And
Did you listen to the tapes? Anything?
I should have, but I knew what they were. Actually, most of them were flying lectures.
Oh,
when I used to
okay,
attend a lot of lectures on when I was doing all my
Was
lessons.
the Orville Wright saying, grab
Right. You grab your propeller like this, and you
spin that booger?
and you watch your head, because it comes around really fast.
I might get you there, old
But
boy.
all this stuff is
Yeah.
now we carry around on our phones. It's it's
yeah.
nuts.
It's, yeah.
And there's no, I mean, I couldn't even think of a reason to hang on to this stuff. Most of it's props.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to do a video someday, and I need a phone that's 30 years old.
You never know. We could do a movie when we were young. How's that sound? And you got all the goodies.
Certificates from back when, courses but like it's so
you
water
probably could
under
have
the
sold
bridge.
that to like a geek restaurant that needed all this geeky equipment to.
Anywho.
So anywho, now we can fly the shuttle with our phones.
Here we go. I know, it's crazy.
Just absolute more technology right there than.
So how have you been?
Man, I had a really good weekend. I got to play out in the woods a little bit. I
saw some of your posts on you were at one of the management areas.
Yeah, you know what? I regret
follow up to our
not
podcast
doing
a couple times ago.
Is filming the ride. I should have filmed a lot of the ride, but it's kind of hard to hang on.
Probably in trouble. Oh, because you were on a ATV.
Yeah, I was on the four-wheeler, and I'm kind of going back to the hunting areas. And what I wanted to do is, we were talking last week, and one of our listeners and followers, Alan, that we spoke about before, he made a comment of, hey, man, your wildlife management area show was really good, man. Super interesting.
Was that last week's? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was last week's. So,
Flies.
what I did was I figured, you know what? Because a lot of people want to hunt these areas, and they're unfamiliar with them, or whatever the case may be. And I've hunted these areas. I've hunted
Ears?
Yeah, but ear by the ear. And I've hunted these areas, since I was 15 years old. So I've been out of, many, many times, and I know the areas where I've seen animals. So I thought it'd be cool to go out and mark some places. Actually, some of my favorite hunting spots. I mean, literally where I've, I posted a video.
As in
GPS mark. I gave the GPS coordinates of, where I hunt. Literally right at the very tree that I put my tree stand up in. And I thought it'd be really cool to hang these, to put those GPS coordinates and know that when you get there, they're proven. I mean, you see animals out of them. There was a ton of animal signs, hogs and deer, and the same thing as I've seen when I hunted them, which was 2 years ago. And I'm successful one way or another in them. I either harvest something out of them or I see something. When you see an animal, I consider that a success, because you can kind of see where they're moving.
Yeah, so either you're harvesting something or you're not. So either way, you're a winner. Yeah.
Either one is like a 2-mile trek through the woods or a mile and a half back to the tree stand.
The cool thing about that, though, and I mean, back to the whole technology thing, I mean, I'm about throwing everything away because it's on our phone.
Right.
But it's a great way then you could easily share that location with somebody else. If you're not with them, you can give them that spot.
Here it is.
You could have never done that.
Oh, God,
20 years ago.
Yeah, you'd have to type it in the FBI mainframe, coordinate it, print out a sheet, and
that's very cool.
Draw a map. So yeah, and in one of them, I actually tagged the entrance and the location itself, so you kind of know where to go in, because if you just put in the GPS coordinate, it's not going to show you the trails and stuff like that, and you would literally take the long way to get there.
I gotcha.
So I tagged the entrance and then
smart. Yes,
the tree itself, and that way you know where to go in. It's a straight shot. Sure. It's an easy walk. You're not trekking through the woods. It is still a long walk. And if you're carrying a tree stand and a bow and all the stuff, and if you're hunting, if you're listening and that's something you want to do, trust me, it'll be worth it.
So did you post that GPS coordinates
on
the
website? So I did. I posted that GPS, the GPS coordinate on our Outdoors Facebook.
And we all know where we're at on August 31st at 4:50 p.m.
Absolutely. I was right there. Yeah, I just took a snapshot of my
screen. It's a good alibi.
And how'd I do?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Unless something happened at that particular location.
And then I'm in trouble.
At 4:50, then
they got me.
Then you're screwed.
I've been had. You see my four-wheeler tracks running off.
One of those idiot criminal moves. And he posted his GPS location
They'll
at the
get
time
you,
of the
They'll
crime.
absolutely get you. You can't commit any kind of crime. I don't know how people are getting away with it.
So this was in the management area of the Henry.
Yeah, they've changed the name. It used to be Bull Creek Wildlife Management Area.
Herky Huffman.
Now it's the Herky Huffman, which I didn't know they changed it, to tell you the truth. Shame on me. I should have known
until
that.
you got there?
Until I got there, and I went,
probably
wait
still
a
goes
minute.
by Bull
Who's
Creek,
Herky
right?
Huffman? Yeah. I've not done the research on who Herky Huffman is. But I did meet some gentlemen out there.
Looks like you just penciled that in.
You see?
So you probably just graffitied it.
Just kind of plopped it up there. And I met some guys out there. They asked me about some camping. When do you set campers up? And I handed them, of course, our Rodney Rogers Outdoors business card. And I said, look, listen to the show. Stay tuned. I'll post it for you. If you want to set up a camper, you can set your camper up 7 days ahead. So
7 days ahead of when the management area opens?
Of when this hunt season starts.
When the hunting season starts. You can go in there anytime.
Yeah, you can go in there anytime. And you can actually camp in this particular one if you're hiking the trails, because this also has hiking trails.
Okay.
And they've added small game areas. They've blocked them off for small game, meaning quail, rabbit, squirrel, that kind of thing.
Inside the management area?
Inside the management area. There's some main roads that you could drive back.
Yeah.
Now they've blocked those roads off, and now it's just small game. So, and I did see some quail. That's, that was kind of cool. Actually, this is the short version of the video. I actually put one together of me seeing quail and sneaking into bushes, and you can hear the baby quails chirping. So I'm going to repost another one of that whole one, and I seen a turkey with a 5-inch beard.
So so you got video and you did something with, you saw a turkey and some baby quail.
Right.
But you decided just to post the video of you standing in front of a sign.
So somehow I posted that and not the other one. You know what I mean? I don't know how I did it. I am not the most technological advanced hunter there is. So yeah, I'll post that one right on top of this one. So it's a cool little video.
It was good. You did a good job.
And it was just good to be out there, honestly.
Yeah. I love seeing when you post these videos randomly from different places, just because I know you're not in jail.
Right.
I know you're still
it might be
free.
Some of these videos actually get me in jail. Actually, I seen what was cool. I seen some quail, and I haven't seen quail in Florida honestly in years. I mean, it's just hard to find. I know they still have a quail season. I don't know how. I don't know how in the world we still have this same quail season we had when I was a kid. You just don't have the areas to hunt them like you used to.
So I derailed you. You're saying 7 days prior to the hunting season starting.
Yeah, 7 days. So I told him to listen to the show. So you can set your camper up 7 days prior to the hunt season starting.
Set it up at your spot you want to hunt?
No. In the designated camping area.
Oh, okay,
so
kind of a waiting, holding.
Right at the entrance.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's where you check in and
people do that.
Yeah, they actually do that.
Why? What would you gain by doing that?
Well, if you go there on a Friday night, the hunt season starts Saturday morning. You can set up. I don't know why you would want to set up 7 days ahead just to get your spot. Actually, it's not a very big area. And
so do they go in? Up. I mean, do they go in that order? I mean, they line you up. I mean,
no. What you do is 7 days ahead of time. It's primitive camping. I mean, it's not like there's camping spots. You hook up your electricity. You just pitch a tent.
I mean, yeah,
or your camper.
Okay.
Or something like that. Just pull it in there and go. So the only benefit of pulling it in 7 days ahead of time would be to, get your camper in a good spot toward the entrance or the exit or in the back or in the front if you have a designated spot you want to be. Now.
Oh, wait a minute. So you don't camp in the management area?
No. You camp in the designated area at the check station.
I see what you're saying.
It's about,
okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, about 5 or 6 acres.
Okay.
And it'll fill up quick. I mean, this is a.
So then, when the season opens, you don't move your camper inside and camp inside. You just stay there and camp.
Right, and then you drive it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Sense. Okay.
Yes.
So
I miss the simple ones sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of people just put up early.
I gotcha.
Now you cannot stay in that camper until 1 day ahead.
What?
Yeah. Although your camper's there 7 days ahead, you can only stay in it the night before.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of rules of these things. I don't, I just don't want people to live in there. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I guess.
They'd pack it up and move in.
But if I just drove, if I just, on vacation, you drive down early or something, and I drove from Michigan and I got my spot. Now I got to go find a hotel for a week.
You better stay on the side of the road.
Interesting. Okay.
So,
abide by the rules.
If he's listening tonight, poof, there's his info.
Is there a date on that? When's the season start?
The season starts the 17th, which is not this coming weekend, but the following.
September 17th.
Yeah, that's
so
Saturday.
on September 10th. See I'm
following. Yeah, so you basically move in your camper this weekend.
Okay.
And then not stay in it till next Friday.
Gotcha.
Following. So, voila, there you have it.
So when is lobster season?
Apparently, I got that date wrong today. Lobster season is now August 6th.
Is it really now? That's the right answer?
Okay. Yeah, until March 31st. So it runs a little long. It's a little longer than I thought it was. Honestly, for some reason, I had a brain escape, and I thought it was, anyway, it's a long one.
All right.
It's very long. So clarify that.
You know what else happens this Saturday?
What happens this Saturday?
License-free saltwater fishing.
I saw that. Hey, how about that? License-free saltwater fishing. So what's that mean, Mike Coy? What's basically?
That means you don't have to have your license.
You are the man.
See how I put that together?
I like that.
You still have to abide by the limits on what's being allowed to be caught on each particular fish or species you're catching from.
Absolutely.
But you can go out on a boat and fish without a license.
Absolutely. Good man.
And you don't have to be attended by somebody who does, right?
Nope.
This is.
You can go at it.
That's a pretty good deal.
That actually is a good deal. I mean, a lot of people who really are not into the saltwater fishing, they're maybe freshwater guys, and they're like, man, I want to try the saltwater thing, but blah blah blah. It's free this weekend.
I'm sure
This
that
Saturday.
does exactly what they intend for it to accomplish.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Let somebody taste it without, the feeling and going out there,
Yeah.
especially if you have a kayak.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You don't want to necessarily, I don't say chartering a boat, because anytime you charter, if you get a charter boat anyways, you don't need your license anyways, right?
Exactly.
You're covered by the captain.
Yeah, you're covered by the captain. Good job.
I learned a thing or two
You
from
have.
Mr. Rogers.
You might have been listening.
I pay
once or
attention.
twice. So there you have it. And Guy Harvey, I just kind of want to point out, he's doing a
He's our guest tonight, isn't he? Calling in?
I wish. Boy, how awesome was that if he could do that. He's doing a lionfish tournament. I'd like to be involved in that. That's this weekend, and unfortunately I can't. But man, how awesome would that be? Apparently it's a very good eating fish.
That's what I understand.
Poison or not, the
Yeah.
booger, it don't look good eating, but it's a delicacy, man. I say we go out and get 50 or 60 of them.
That would be neat, just to be involved in a tournament like that where you have to dive for them.
It would. And for those of you who are listening and really don't know what a lionfish is, it's those pretty colorful striped fish that have spines all over that you see in the saltwater tank. They're poisonous if they poke you. They're an invasive species in the waters of Florida, and they won't bite a hook. You put a shrimp on a hook, they're just not that guy. I mean, they just don't catch them. Very rarely do you catch them by hook and line. So you pretty much got to dive in, put your dive gear on, and go spear fishing.
Wow.
That's the number one way to get these guys. I mean, it is what their thinking is why they won't bite a hook is just beyond me.
So Guy Harvey's not calling in tonight.
No.
Oh.
No.
I misunderstood.
We may get lucky, and he may be listening.
Remember that time Catherine called in?
I remember that time.
That
How
was awesome.
Was that?
That was
It never happened again, though, did it?
No, I think
I wonder where Catherine is.
She's gone deep.
You want to talk about a cool animal I found out today? Check this out.
You found out a cool animal?
I unfound it. I found.
You
well, I didn't find it.
One?
This
better be good.
Yeah, check this, man. I didn't even know these things existed.
Oh, this got to be good.
The FWC, of course, I subscribed to them, and today they posted a rodent that I didn't even know we had. Not that guy in a cowboy hat and short shirt. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
That right there is called a pocket gopher. A southeastern pocket gopher. That's a weird-looking little fella. You know what? I was kind of reading it, and it was talking about all the cool things it does, but here's what impressed me. This thing will bite, are you ready for this? Up to 18,000 pounds per square inch. 18,000 pounds, my coy. A great white shark is about 8,000 or 9,000 pounds.
How is that possible?
He got a mean little bite.
You sure that they didn't put the comma or the decimal in the wrong place?
Whether they did or not, apparently this thing would chew through a robot. I mean,
18,000 pounds per square inch.
18,000 pounds per square inch. It's used for chewing up
There's not
plants
much could stop it, I would think.
I wouldn't think. I mean, it's probably not got a very big bite because it looks like a rat.
It's got to nibble it away.
And I know I've seen them. I always thought it was a rat, but I guess it's a gopher. I didn't even know we had gophers. I'm just saying. Just saying.
So we got a topic tonight?
Actually, we do.
I put you on the spot there?
Absolutely. We do have a topic tonight. We're gonna talk about seasons tonight. We're coming into all the seasons that we have. We got duck seasons coming.
Oh.
We got fall, winter.
I'm like,
we're
wow.
at the end of summer.
How are we doing those all at once? Winter and summer at the same time? This is going to be cool.
So we got duck season coming. We got deer season coming. Archery season is going to start us out. We got an early duck season this year. I pulled that up. Normally they don't post that season till mid-September. So we got a couple seasons that I want to point out. If you're not a duck hunter, you are a duck hunter, or hunter. Period. Hopefully I got a request in for a call. We may get a call tonight. Who knows?
Now here is a question then. With the management area opening on the 17th, That opens up for what species?
And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. It opens up the archery, and then we'll talk about the species and the zones and all that good stuff. It's going to kind of relate to our wildlife management areas, but we're just going to take one step farther and get into it a little bit more. We kind of brushed the surface.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the seasons for, if you're coming to Florida and you want to hunt, or you're just listening and you're not really sure how to hunt, or not necessarily how to hunt, or when things are going to go down and how they're going to happen. But just real quick on the news, did you see those geckos?
No.
Well, you didn't see Russia send up the sex geckos?
No.
They sent up these 5 geckos.
Okay.
1 male, 4 females into space. And they wanted to see, the process of fertilization, the whole thing. Yeah.
Really?
They sent them up for 2 months. Yeah. They came back dead.
For reals?
For real. I was reading the article. I thought, man, did somebody forget to put the food on the ship? I mean, what did they forget here? I can't see spending $8 million to send a gecko up into space. I just thought that was a weird thing to do. They got nothing better to do in Russia?
Mm-hmm. What
am I missing here?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I just thought I'd point that out. I just saw it and thought it was kind of a cool.
Maybe next they'll send a gopher.
It'd chew through the ship.
Yeah.
Or just right through the side of the ship.
Interesting.
So there you have it.
Wow.
I saw it. I wanted to point it out, man.
That was good. No, I haven't seen that. I'll have to show that to my wife. She loves geckos.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what's funny is reading through it, they said they lost contact.
Of the geckos?
Of the gecko.
They sent somebody with these geckos, right? They weren't flying the ship.
Just the geckos.
Oh,
and some type of satellite.
And they weren't texting back or anything.
For you know geckos squeak. You've heard them.
Yeah, they do.
Maybe they quit squeaking.
Interesting.
Do you think once the ship got up there, they're up there for 2 months? One guy, Russian guy, says, "Oh, Bruce got no food. I forgot to put the food on the ship."
I wonder at what point they died, if they even know. They must know. They must have monitored them.
Well, I'm not sure geckos could take off from 0 to 17,000 miles an hour.
They might not have made the initial ascent.
That would be a total bummer, wouldn't you think? So anyway, nothing else to say there.
I got nothing.
You got nothing. You couldn't even find it.
No, I couldn't.
You were trying. I
was
saw
looking
you
for a gecko sound effect. I got nothing.
Cool beans. So shall we dip into what
Let's dip.
Let's dip.
Baby, dip.
So tonight we're going to talk about hunting. We've got the management areas. We talked about hunting. Private land. Your season will start like next weekend as bow season starts. It starts the same on private and wildlife management areas, which are public hunting areas.
Okay.
Now,
that's your only 2 options, isn't it?
That is. Yeah. I mean, you can't hunt someone's land without permission.
So if you're going on private, which would be exactly that, either you own it,
or
you're hunting on somebody's property that has given you permission to be on there.
Which would be called a hunting lease.
If I own the land, I'm allowed to hunt whatever's on that land if it's in season.
As long as it's in season, correct. Okay. You still have to abide by the bag limits,
right.
And there are exceptions to the rules. We won't get into it tonight, but there are exceptions to the rules.
So as me, general consumer hunter, going out, either I've got that permission to hunt on somebody else's land, or I'm doing it in a
wildlife management area. Exactly.
Period.
Yeah, that's your choices. So you can, if you're going to start with wildlife management areas, you can get on the FWC, myfwc.com, and actually look at what the harvest rate was last year.
Is Lake Toho on a management area?
It's actually the lake is considered a management area.
Okay, that's why you can duck hunt out on the
exactly. Lake. You can duck hunt on any waters as long as they're not inside the city limits. So you can only hunt on the last 2/3 of Lake Toho, because the first third is in city limits toward the lakefront in Kissimmee. Okay. So you go blasting away up there, you're going to get the FWC flying a helicopter in and picking you out like an alien spaceship.
Gotcha.
So there you have it.
That's
these are things you need to know.
Yeah, because there's no designation, there's no line you're crossing.
Yeah, there's so these things, you kind of have to do your research before you go out. Anytime you're hunting, if you just bought a shotgun, you want to fire that thing off. Duck season is a great time. Whether you hit the duck or not, you want to identify your ducks. You want to know what you're shooting at.
Sure.
So this is a perfect time. You got dove season coming up. You got duck season coming up. I mean, with the waterfowl season, it's just a great time. We're getting into my time of the year when I really enjoy myself. So duck season, I'm going to plop on that one real quick. The 2014-2015 waterfowl season, the reason they call it 2015 as well, because we go into the first part basically in January of 2015.
Right. Okay.
So that's why it's called that, that season. So what they're going to do is they're going to start an early season. It's teal and wood duck. It's going to be September the 20th through the 24th. You got 4 days of that.
Okay.
I don't hunt that particular time of the season. There's just not a lot of ducks. It's still pretty hot. There's just not, and teals and wood ducks are pretty much local ducks, and they do fly from up north, and they're the first ones to move in.
They're the smaller ones?
Yeah, they are smaller ducks, exactly. The wood ducks are the most beautiful. I mean, they're just a gorgeous duck. And they live here. They don't migrate back and forth. They live in the oak trees.
We used to call them decoys.
Did you really?
Yeah, the wood ducks. That's different. A different kind of duck?
Yeah, might be. Why'd you call them decoys?
Because they're made out of wood.
Right. Sorry. Just had to laugh at that. Yeah, they're decoys. Gorgeous ducks. They actually live in the trees. They live in the oak trees and land in the water. So we'll talk about harvesting, how many you can get, and all that stuff later. Then in September the 25th through the 28th, you have a teal only, which are green wing and blue wing teals. You have a cinnamon teal as well. So you have 3 different types of teal.
Okay.
Boy, that's a tongue twister right there. Types of teal in the state of Florida. So if you want to get out there and go at it with your shotgun, duck season is actually a great time to do it. So the actual season starts November the 22nd. Now it's 7 days. It's 22nd to the 30th.
That's the regular duck season.
That's the regular duck season where you can shoot every duck. There are exceptions that you can't shoot, but you need to know those. It's too much for me to go into.
Yeah.
You need to know your limits and how many you can kill of each, whether you can kill a male or female. Duck season is very difficult. It's advanced hunting 101. It really is, because you don't want to shoot the wrong duck. These ducks fly from up north to down south, so they're federal. They cross state lines. So any wildlife violation is a federal wildlife violation. So you want to pay attention to that.
Because there's more opportunity to mess that up. Is the authorities more on top of it? Are they more diligent during this time frame?
Oh yeah. And you know what? And they're also they're lenient. They really are. A lot of times it's, look, dude, really pay attention. You got one too many. It's better to have the wrong duck than it is to have an over the limit. It's easy to tell you got the wrong duck, but you're only allowed 6 ducks total.
Right.
You better not have 7 ducks.
Gotcha.
7th duck is a ticket.
Okay.
The wrong kind of duck, it depends on the game warden.
Yeah.
He'll say, look, this is it's hard. I mean, unless you've done it for a long time, it's hard right off the bat.
Yeah, I would think so.
It's very intimidating. So definitely hunt, with someone that
Sure.
knows their ducks. I don't know all the ducks, but I'm pretty good at this whole duck thing. I've been doing about 13 years now.
Well, with duck season coming up, we need to do an episode just on duck calls.
Oh man, yeah, and we got a duck caller.
We got
come
some.
in. That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, people call in and give us have an on-the-air competition.
I like it. Good call.
Why not? Yeah, that'd be good.
Good call. So there's our duck season. And then duck season comes in 2 phases, and it goes from November to 22nd, November to 30th, and then it's kind of a week break, and then it'll start again from December the 6th through January the 25th, 2015. Now, my experience, the hottest time of the year is November the 22nd through November the 30th.
Oh, really?
That's the only window I hunt ducks in, 7 days, and I hunt hard in those 7 days. Because after that 7th day, that week span, they get really gun shy. You really got to find an area. I mean, you can your best to take your biggest limit, or should I say species limit, different species in that first 7 days. than any
Okay,
time after
gotcha.
that. Now, there's certain areas you can go to. Definitely find those out where you can harvest ducks pretty consistently. But I like the first 7 days.
Do you have a favorite area for duck hunting?
Lake Toho.
That
I
is-
mean,
yeah.
you know me. I mean, it's got a wide range of species. It's got a wide range of habitat, plenty of food for ducks, and it's just, man, it's just a duck haven.
Mm.
So I think Toho's going to be a little tough this year. They killed all the hydrilla. So there's not a lot of hydrilla, gator hunting out there.
Changes a lot, doesn't it? Changes
It
the whole
does, because,
ecosystem.
yeah, these ducks eat that seed on top of the hydrilla, so it's one of their favorite foods. So now we don't have a lot of that, but we do have smartweed, which is another one of their favorite foods, but just not as much as we normally do. So I think we're going to see a big change on Lake Toho this year. I think that first 7 days might be a little tough. There's probably not going to be as many ducks out there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so, if you're listening, you're a duck hunter, and you haven't been on Toho in a while, trust me when I say the hydrilla is gone. There's just not a lot out there. Certainly not enough producing seeds for the ducks.
Sure. Hey, I'm seeing on my FWC website that it's saying the regular season is ducks, coots, and light geese.
Yeah.
What classifies a light geese? Is that a particular actual type?
It's just a Canadian goose.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't kill many geese. It's just not it's basically, I've only seen 2 Canadian geese in the state of Florida.
Hmm.
It's usually, North Florida, you can kind of see some geese. Down here, we don't see a whole lot.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've only seen 2, and they were right off the 417. I was fishing in a lake, and there was 2 geese nesting. I thought it was odd. I thought it was amazing. So I can't see me shooting a Canadian goose because they're just pretty rare.
Yeah, wow.
Down here. Yeah. We actually get ducks all the way from Alaska. Seen one several years ago, a harlequin, which is illegal to shoot in the state of Florida. Now, if you're in Alaska, you can blow the snot out of them.
Now, it's pretty much shotguns, right?
Yeah, shotgun only. Which you don't want, and you steel shot. You're hunting ducks with steel shot, so you don't want lead shot. As many shells is fired off during duck season.
Because all that goes into the water and
all
the
of it
systems.
goes into the water. Exactly.
Rodney told me that a while back.
Long time ago.
Okay.
So pick up your shells, leave it like you saw it. Anything you can grab, just pay attention. Definitely you don't want to get caught with your dove shot up in there where your duck shot. Not
What do you mean?
In other words, if you get caught by the game warden, you don't want to have 7 ducks, and you don't want to have lead shot in your boat.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. A lot of people sneak in lead shot because it goes a little farther.
And you said that's dove shot?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That's what you shoot
yeah,
ducks
it's a
with?
dove load
Okay.
during dove season. We'll talk a little bit about that. That's coming in as well. So, it's basically waterfowl and migratory bird.
Okay.
Dove being migratory birds. So, that's that. And of course, a little bit about the archery. Archer season's coming. It's starting next week, and it's called primitive hunting.
Okay.
Which means you can kill everything that's in season.
And it's primitive just because you're shooting with a bow.
You can kill. It's the only time of the year you can kill female turkeys, hens. You can kill fall gobblers. You can kill the only time of the year in the state of Florida, besides a 7-day window, that you can kill does, female deer, and or antlerless deer. So, and then of course bucks, bobcats. I don't know why otter's on the list, but they are. Pretty much everything that's huntable in the state of Florida, you can shoot it. And of course, all the birds and ducks. You can hunt ducks with archery. By the way, you can do that. I wouldn't do it.
Sure.
You gotta love some bow hunting.
Not gators though, right?
You can kill gators, absolutely.
During this primitive hunting season?
Yeah, because if you got a gator tag, remember.
That applies with any of these things.
That only applies to gator tags.
So there's not a primitive hunting license that gives you carte blanche.
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Good thinking. Yeah. I'm glad you put that. So you can kill anything in that season that allows you to take, those animals. Now, as that moves to muzzleload and rifle season, the rules change for private land and per management area. So get on the FWC website, look up the brochure for the wildlife management area you want to hunt, and study it. Read it very carefully. It will tell you exactly what you can and cannot do on that wildlife management area. Some allowed antlered deer with 4 on one side, 2 on one side. It just depends on the area itself, because the state of Florida is trying to excuse me, incorporate a buck program, meaning so they can harvest better deer, more grown up deer, more older deer. Used to be antlers only had to be 1 inch above the hairline. That's hard to see. Then it was 6 inches above the hairline, and then it was 2 on one side, and then it was 4 on one side. So each one has its own set of rules. So pay attention. You don't want to be that guy. Buy a set of binoculars, look at that deer, make sure it's a legal harvest.
Mm-hmm.
They frown on that, especially on the ones that they check you in and out. A lot of them are starting to do that again.
Oh, on the kind of a checkpoint on the
they have a checkpoint at the entrance. They didn't, when the budgets all went down, they started pulling the people from those checkpoints, and now they're starting to put them back. So make sure you follow the. You know what? Following the rules helps you, helps me, helps everybody.
Follow the rules, sit back, relax, and enjoy it.
Absolutely.
So is there a license that covers more than one species?
No. It's basically your hunting license. That covers everything out there.
It does?
Yeah, with the exception of alligator.
Okay.
Now, the only time you can hunt both is like me. I have an alligator tag and a hunting license, so I pretty much got the gamut.
So there's not just a duck license?
There is a duck stamp for duck license. Okay. We need to break this down, don't we?
Yeah.
That's a very fair question. Absolutely.
Hogs.
It's not a separate hogs. Okay. Let me adjust my mic here.
Give me the flow chart.
Here's the flow chart. In the state of Florida, to hunt anything, you have to start with a hunting license.
Okay.
Okay. Let's say we're going to hunt waterfowl. So we have our hunting license. We now have to buy a waterfowl stamp,
Okay.
which is $15.
Okay.
Okay. That $15 goes straight to the conservation of waterfowl, period.
Okay.
Okay. Then you have to get what's called a migratory bird stamp, which is free. Doesn't cost anything. You just have to tell them that you're going to hunt it. You have to have that stamp because they want to send you a survey saying how many did you kill last year. It's pretty much their way of saying,
okay,
let's they can't count everything.
Sure.
And the more honest you are, the more it helps us out in regulating what we can kill and what we can't kill. Not every season, every year is the same. So so far we're in ducks. Now we want to hunt, let's just say big game, which is deer and hogs and all that stuff. We still use the same hunting license, but we have to get a $5 deer stamp. And there again, it goes to the conservation of it. If we're going to hunt a wildlife management area, we have to buy a $25 wildlife management area stamp. And that goes to the conservation of all of our wildlife management areas. Does that make sense?
It does. It seems like a lot. I didn't realize it was so involved.
It is. It really is. And definitely, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to call us at 262-345-7763.
Day or night.
Day or night.
Middle of the night, Rodney answers.
And leave us a message if nothing else. That's a lot. That's $75 right there.
So if I pull into a management area,
yep,
they say,
"Is your license?"
Yep. And do they ask you what you're hunting?
Nope.
But if you don't know on the way out and you get checkpointed, now you've got migratory waterfowl,
right,
in your truck, but without that stamp.
You're in trouble.
You got some splaining to do.
Yeah, you got some splaining to do. And there again, make sure that you can hunt migratory birds on that management area. Just so happens, Bull Creek is one of them that you can.
Yeah, it just takes me back a little bit because you're all of a sudden you're like going, okay, it's not. There's some things you need to know prior to going. I know that sounds elementary, but that's where I'm working at here.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? That you could really get yourself in trouble.
So if I was going to hunt, if I was coming to Florida or I lived in Florida, I want to hunt, and I've been through the hunter safety class, and I've got everything in row, and I want to hunt, the first thing I do is I pick an area. How am I going to pick it? I'm going to go to myfwc.com. I'm going to look at the harvest charts, what they harvested in 2013-14. I'm going to look at those harvest charts, see where my, maybe my biggest harvest was. And you're probably going to find that it's Ocala National Park. Don't be fooled by that. Ocala National Park is 100,000 acres.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Keep that in mind. Yeah, they killed a lot of deer last year.
Yeah.
But it's 100,000 acres. So put it in perspective. It's all relative. Bull Creek, a little bit more manageable, 23,000 acres. They had a pretty good harvest last year. They had a lot of hunting days out there, and they had a pretty good harvest. And that's what those guys are at the gate for. So look at that, and then read that brochure. Just focus on that one brochure for that one place. Look at the topographic maps. We got satellite imagery now. Look for your vegetation areas. Look for all those signs.
I'm going to download a brochure. That's my homework for this week.
Okay.
I'm going to download one of those PDFs. Does it come in PDF?
It comes a PDF.
I'm going to take it with me, and I'm going to read it.
Okay.
And see what kind of information I can absorb and go, ooh, Rodney talked about that.
Yes.
This makes sense to me now because Rodney talked. Because I think just reading through it might allow some of these things to start falling in place.
Absolutely,
too.
it
You've
will.
Briefed us enough.
It'll make sense.
Yeah.
It gives you the seasons. It gives you what you're allowed to shoot. It gives you, everything that you need to know is on that brochure for that area. Now, don't take that brochure to another area and expect to do the same thing.
Okay.
Don't work like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's 3 wildlife management areas. Right? There's 4. There's 2 sides to 3 lakes, and then, it's.
What's the closest one to me right here?
We're gonna go with Bull Creek.
Bull Creek. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna download Bull Creek's, and I want to pick Can I hunt ducks there?
Absolutely.
Okay. So in my mind, I'm gonna go duck hunting.
Okay.
At Bull Creek.
There you go.
So I'm gonna download the brochure and see where it gets me.
And see.
We'll
just
talk
follow
about it next week. Yeah.
There you go. That's actually a great idea.
Because typically most people will have an idea. Their kid wants to go hunting for a specific, whatever, deer.
Yeah. And honestly, they have a great small game area out there. So you can pretty much. Bull Creek's one of the few areas that has the whole gamut of things. Yeah.
Bear?
They have fishing.
Can we hunt bear in Florida?
Not yet. I see it coming, but not yet. There's only
Panthers. Probably not.
That's definitely one thing I wouldn't do. They don't issue too many panther tags out here. I don't even know if I can't. We got to delete this. I can't even say we even said that. They'll probably be waiting for us as we open the door out there.
It was the new guy, just for the record.
But you know what? I just on the panther note, we are getting more panthers now. They're starting to record a larger panther.
Are there any wild cats, bobcats, anything hunting season here?
Yeah, there is bobcat.
There is. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Bobcat, otter. I don't know why anybody would shoot an otter, but there is an otter season.
You know that's not a cat though, right?
No, it's not. Definitely not a cat.
Just make.
It's a swimming cat. It's a cat that swims with a fat tail.
So there's a bobcat season.
Yeah, I see tons of otters while we're duck hunting. They attack my decoys all the time, every year. Yeah, so that's where to start. Pick you out an area. Look, definitely go to my FWC. I can't say that enough. Put in your mind what you want to do and click on those tabs. If it's turkey, if it's deer, if it's whatever.
You can get. There are obviously, like any subject on the internet, there are thousands and thousands of resources, which is good.
Yes.
To absorb all these and different entertaining for different whatever. But when you're talking about something like this, you want to go to the source.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Don't take anybody's word for it. Get it from the source on my FWC.
Because you know what I found is a lot of times.
This is where the law is coming from.
Absolutely. And they're up to date.
Yeah. They're not going to steer you wrong.
And a lot of times what I find is if you go to the internet and you pop up a source, and you don't read that it's from 2010, you can get yourself in a bit of a pickle there. You know what I mean? I've seen it. I've done it.
Yeah, for sure. Websites you're reading, and you have to really dig to figure out what.
Yeah. My FWC, they pretty much cover everything in Florida and everything you want to know. I can't say it enough. It's where I go. I live on this. I have the tab right on my phone. I just click it and then ask, pretty much go with
Sure, follow on Facebook. I'm sure they have a Twitter, any of that good stuff.
Absolutely. They have all that stuff. And, of course, you can sign up for email updates, and their email updates are phenomenal. Tony Young, which is on my Facebook, is one of FWC's main hunting, he puts the hunting post out there every year. Season's coming, what's new, he does a great job. I've talked to Tony myself. He's a super nice guy. Heck, he may be listening to the show.
Is he going to call in?
No. We're not going to call in. We may get a caller. Who knows? One day, Mike. One day.
I'm going to start a list of people who's not going to call in.
There you go. It's easier to figure out who ain't going to call in than who is going to call in. So, our likes are going up on our Facebook. I like to see that. That's always a good thing. So keep in mind during all these seasons, if I don't say it enough, is safety is first. Look at your safety, your safety protocols, not necessarily with your gun, but what you have to wear. There's things that you have to wear. 500 inches of daylight fluorescent orange. Basically, orange hat, orange vest. You have to do it during bow and gun season. You know what I mean? So that's important.
They probably don't highlight that thing in the brochure I'm reading, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that. Yeah, that's probably one of the first things.
Really, on a wildlife management area?
Yes. Oh, definitely on the wildlife management area. Yeah. I mean, if you go down here, I got. If you look on mine, the Herky Huffman there, and I'll just pull down, and I'll guarantee you one of the first things. Pow. Oh, you can't shoot spotted fawns. Oh, bummer. But anyway, that's a joke. It has, you can see it. It's 1. Any person hunting deer accompanying another person deer shall wear the first number 1 shall wear at least 500 square inches of daylight fluorescent orange material and outer garment above the waistline, meaning from your chest to your head, 500 inches. And no, they don't come under with a measure. It's a vest and a hat.
Okay. That's
500 inches.
Wow.
So it's above the waist. Your pants, it don't matter. Camouflage from the waist down. 500 that's number 1. So
see what that says on your screen right there, lower right.
Yep, Bull Creek added PDF.
I just downloaded it and put it in my Dropbox.
Right on, man. So you're already on.
I'm ready. I'm going to be gone for part of the week. I'm going to be reading a PDF.
It's actually great reading.
It's there.
You hunt with dogs.
Fascinating information. I mean, I might have a lot of more questions.
I have a
lot of more questions. I'm going to be doing the Herky Huffman dance. You see that dance?
I got to research what the Herky Huffman is.
That's a pretty good dance. From what I understand, the kids are doing it.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a dance. Herky Huffman. Everybody do the Herky Huffman. We're going to write a song about that. He's probably listening. Herky's probably listening.
So I'll come back next week and have some management area questions for you, and you tell me a little about Herky Huffman.
There's my homework.
And maybe he'll call in.
Yes. Unless he's a tribute and he's an old dead guy. I don't know. I'm just saying, Michael. He could be dead right now.
It might be just as effective as our caller tonight.
He might have a son, Huffy Huffman. Hefty Huffman.
He'd be just as effective as Guy Harvey.
That's
right?
Old dead Herky Huffman or Guy Harvey, whichever's first. Come on, call in now.
Conversation.
Oh, yeah, we're in trouble. Yeah. You can get us at Mike Coy at RodneyRogersOutdoors.com. And it tells you all the seasons, migratory bird, blah, 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 and there you have it, man.
How fun.
So what do you think about that? What have we learned tonight, Mike Coy?
I learned that there's maybe a little more to it than meets the eye.
There definitely
is. I mean, it's great to have a resource and like a Rodney Rogers, and I say that because I'm glad I'm your friend and I got to get it firsthand to break some of this stuff down. You always do an incredible job of bringing it down to my level. That's what's required of me, and simplifying this thing, but to also realize, you need to pay attention.
Absolutely.
It's not that difficult, but you just can't go out scot-free. Yeah, there's some things in here that you need to spend some time and like you say, take seriously safety first. Pay attention, heads up, get the information up front, so you can go out and enjoy the day and not find yourself in a bunch of hot water.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the last thing I want it to sound as difficult, because it's really not. If you just read the brochure, follow steps 1 through 65.
Yeah.
You're in good shape.
It's not difficult, but you need to know.
You need to know.
And ignorance is not an excuse.
Never is.
And so you're kind of taking that away from us, which is good.
That brochure is literally in black and white. Literally. They got nothing color about it. Nothing. So
Very cool.
That's all I got to say about that, Michael.
I will do my book report for next week with cliff notes and bibliography, and I'll report back to you, sir.
As I.
Unexpected good grade. I'll do my homework.
There's a big fat 0. Cool. All righty.
Always a blast, Rodney.
Always. Check us out on our Facebook.
Please.
RodneyRogersOutdoors.com.
Yep. Like us on Facebook. It's actually free right now until we hit 500.
And after that,
who knows what I'm going to charge.
We never know.
Yep. Like us on Facebook. Get a free subscription on iTunes.
Call Mike Coy at 262-345-7763 anytime, day or night.
Yeah, please.
As my mother always said.
I challenge you to call me tonight at 2 a.m.
Oh,
on that number.
don't
Please
do it.
call me.
Don't do it. As my mother always says, and
Yes,
I've
she
said it a
did.
million times, you kids get outside and stay.